we're going to now bring in Nico Iamaleava. What does that do for Kaden Salter? I'll put it this way. That could force out both quarterbacks. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to TLP Sports Club. I am your host, Harry B. The B means billion. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I do appreciate it. If you haven't heard by now that Nico Iamaleava, who is the quarterback of the Tenn Vols, if you haven't heard this story, right? He was in a contract negotiation, an NIL contract negotiation with Tennessee. The head coach decided, you know what? This is not worth it. Nico jumped into the transfer portal, and now he is available to any team that will take a chance on him. But here's the thing. Colorado is in that conversation. There's 3 schools that he's been linked to, and Colorado is part of those 3 schools. If that's the case, then what does that mean for JuJu Lewis, Kaden Salter? We're going to talk about that in this video, but before we do, please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. All right, family, I got to go ahead and get into this video real quick, so that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. This is some interesting development that we are learning about Nico Iamaleava. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm recording this video on a Sunday, so happy Sunday. Happy Palm Sunday for all of my Christians out there. Salute to you. You know what we do. One of our trusted writers has written the news, so let's go to the news, and then we'll do the perspective. Let's go. Deion Sanders in Colorado named as front runner to land former 5-star Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava. This is quite interesting. And I had to give this one on the smaller screen because I want you to see all of my reactions in my face as I report this news. Coach Prime in the Buffs linked to Vols passer as he exits Knoxville. I always like to shout out the writers because I didn't write this. I'm just a reporter of the news. It's just like CNN, Wolf Blitzer, or MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, one of those people. You know what I'm saying? Right there on your screen, if I make it a little bit bigger, you should see Jeff Hauser's name as the news writer for this report. Okay, salute to you, Jeff Hauser. I'm not giving you breaking news. This is an opinion piece, obviously, just like my mentor, RJ Young of Fox Sports. Okay, and RJ, if you did not know that you were my mentor in this here game, I'm new to the game. You are the guy that I'm watching. You give great opinion pieces, and I'm learning from you as much as I can. So salute to my mentor, RJ Young. Let's go. Tennessee is moving on from quarterback Nico Iamaleava, according to ESPN's Pete Thamel. The decision comes after the Vols' top signal caller did not attend practice on Friday amid NIL contract discussions with the school. According to Thamel, Tennessee coach Josh Heupel informed the team at meetings Saturday morning before the orange and white spring game. Sources said Iamaleava missing practice Friday proved to be the tipping point for Heupel and staff. The former 5-star was reportedly seeking an $8 million NIL deal. Iamaleava expected to be the top name in the transfer portal next week. However, he can't go to an SEC school, and no quarterback on an SEC roster can go to Tennessee if they hope to play in 2025, according to conference rules. That is the rules, okay? If you're going to transfer from an SEC school, they have checks and balances in place, and you are not allowed to go to another SEC school. I'm going to use air quotes for now, and I'm going to explain later why, but these are the 3 schools that are interested. Ohio State, Oregon, and Colorado are top landing spots for Iamaleava, according to a report from Knoxville reporter Richard G. West. The QB has reportedly been in contact with 3 schools who've agreed to construct a deal upon him leaving Tennessee. This is the tweet that Richard G. West sent that this information or this news is all about. And this was a while ago, as you can see. All right, so here's the information right here that we need to know. The redshirt freshman led UT to the college football playoff in a 10-3 season in 2024. Iamaleava threw for 2,616 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. He completed 63.8% of his passes. Tennessee's offense finished number 9 in the 16-team SEC scoring offense last year in league play, and he was the league's number 10 quarterback in passing yards per game. Iamaleava will have 3 years of eligibility remaining at his next stop. Okay, now that we got the news out, let's talk about this. The fact that Colorado is in the mix is quite interesting, so we must talk about it. If y'all remember famously Montana Lamania's Craig, right after the spring game, and he did so well, jumped into that transfer portal and jetted out of here and went over to Arizona. After all of the spring games are said and done, we're waiting for that transfer portal to happen. But now, Nico Iamaleava is going to be sitting right there. A formidable quarterback is going to be sitting right there for the grabbing for $8 million. Why is Colorado's name in the mix? Sorry I can't play this video right here where RJ Young is talking about Dan Lanning not being interested in Nico. Can't play it because of copyright strikes or infringement or whatever, because he's for Fox Sports and they're not going to let me play it. But in this video, he talks about basically Dan Lanning is like, nah, we're not interested. We don't want none of the drama. All right. Y'all can keep that drama. The thing about Dan Lanning is Dan Lanning doesn't want any drama. Dan Lanning wants his story to be written about football. He's trying to make sure that when it's all said and done, they're going to grade him specifically on football material, whatever happened on the field. That's how he wants his story to be written. This guy understands and he gets it. Anytime there's a story out there, as soon as they bring it to him, he's like, oh, stop playing. No comment. I'm good. Oregon is like, nah, we good. We good over here, because that comes with drama. So think about it. On TLP Live, we always talk about NIL. NIL is an interesting situation. Arguments for NILs, those who are for it and those who are against it, you can feed into either one of their arguments and who's right and who's wrong. All of the legacy people talking about NIL and how it's being bad or how it's treating this sport that they love, the purity of college football, the integrity of the sport, kids playing for the love of the sport and just understanding what those letters mean when you wear your Leatherman jacket and understanding the name that's behind you is not their name. It's usually the school's name, until obviously Coach Prime. Coach Prime wants the kid's name on there. He understands it from a different angle, right? But when you wear the leathers of your school, you're playing for legacy. You're playing for the history. If your school is new and hasn't really won nothing, now you're playing for the pride of actually bringing that kind of joy to your fan base. There's that group that wants to preserve that. And then there's another group. I'm kind of like in the middle, or I'm for the latter group, where I feel like it's time that you pay these players and make this a G League for the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, make college football the G League for the NFL. Let's write up some contracts. These players need to get paid. You need to eat while you're in college. We got a running back who has kids who allegedly had to go on paternity leave for his newborn baby, Gustav. That's what the story is being alleged, that he had to take paternity leave. So if you're having kids and you're dealing with adult situations in college, you need money for that. This is not a game. This is real life, and it's really happening in real time. You can't wait. Everybody cannot wait until the NFL. And there's only 32 teams in the NFL. So everybody from 134 colleges, 132 or 34 schools putting out players from every position, everybody can't go. Somebody's going to get left out. So if you are shining right now, okay, I'll get to the Colorado thing in a second, but this is the larger argument that we need to have. The larger argument about the NIL situation. One, everybody's not going to go. If you're not the best of the best, then the chances of you going are going to be very slim. These players are like, I'm going to get mine right now. Let me get my money, because the situation that RJ explains in his video when he's talking about you should actually be playing for your future, lay it all on the line for whatever's going to happen, because you never know when life comes and try to get you. Then at that point, you will have something for your future. But you can use that same argument right now. What happens if you don't get drafted? What happens if you get hurt? You play your last game, you get hurt. These kids can take care of their families right now while they have the chance, while they have their youth and they're hot. Because anything can happen. Shador is now talked about dropping from whatever number he was at before the pro day. He has a pro day. He's dropped to number 9. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. The LSU wide receiver, God bless his soul, Kyron, the LSU wide receiver, found dead. Whatever the situation was, he was found dead. He doesn't go to the NFL. He's already played and he had his NIL money. His family can use some of that money to bury him, but his family can use some of that money to move on with their lives. I mean, the arguments on both sides, depending on how you look at it, whether you're legacy or you're new, whatever ideas you have, anybody could be right. There's good arguments on both sides, whether NIL is ruining the sport or young men or these young athletes need to get their money right now. And these negotiations happen. With all of that being said, Colorado's in this mix. How is that going to work? Number one, you got a 4-star who used to be a 5-star in JuJu Lewis, just coming from high school. He's moving up his high school graduation to come here now. Whatever conversations you had with his dad, I'm sure that conversation has some guarantees in there. You're not going to guarantee playing time, but you're going to guarantee something to give assurance to that dad or the family that you're going to take care of this young man. He's young. We get it, right? He's 17 years old. We get it. There had to be some kind of guarantee or some type of language to get him to come to Colorado. What was that conversation, and how does that relate to Nico Maliava? When it comes to Kaidon Salter, he's a senior. Last year, maybe 2 years, if you go to grad school. But you get that young man to come over here. He's battling for a job. And now you say, we're going to now bring in Nico Maliava. What does that do for Kaidon Salter? I'll put it this way. That could force out both quarterbacks. The fact that JuJu Lewis is a freshman, he's a true freshman. Right? We're just going to say Nico because the last name, I'm not going to keep saying the last name, okay? My mouth is getting dry just saying his last name, okay? Maliava. Listen, Nico, okay? I think JuJu, if anything, could be fine because JuJu's dealing with Kaidon Salter. But if you bring in a Nico, now Kaidon Salter has to think about his future. Nico has numbers, and they're coming from the SEC. The Southeastern Conference is the premier conference. If you're playing in the Southeastern Conference as a quarterback, the type of competition that you've had to face for a whole year or two, that competition is much tougher than playing in the Big 12. That's a premier quarterback. That's a quarterback that you can build with for the next couple of years if you're prime. It ain't a good situation for Kaidon Salter. But now let's take this conversation all the way back, and let's talk about Colorado as a program building from a Shedeur Sanders. What does this mean for Colorado? It may not be a good look for Kaidon Salter, maybe not for JuJu as well, but you see where there's a little bit of room. Nico has 3 years remaining. JuJu's just coming in. If you bring in a Nico with 3 years of eligibility, are you going to waste 3 years of JuJu's career in college? What happens to Nico? So I get it. So that situation is no good for either quarterbacks, either JuJu or Kaidon Salter. But it could be great for Colorado. Colorado needs a good quarterback such as Nico Maliava. Colorado will actually be way better off with Nico. Clearly because of the competition that he's faced. His experience, he ain't got the same amount of years as Kaidon Salter, but the competition that he has played being an SEC quarterback and that competition, I say that's more experience coming in than Kaidon Salter. You get a 3-year SEC quarterback that you can build with. This could possibly have playoff implications or even winning the Big 12. So if you want to win the Big 12, I'm more confident that you'll win the Big 12 with Nico than with Kaidon Salter. Surely because of the experience. But is this a good look for Colorado? I'm like, I don't know. I don't think so. For Colorado to be in the mix, that means you don't have confidence in Kaidon Salter. You think that JuJu Lewis is your future, but if you're still searching for quality quarterbacks, what does that say about the confidence that these young men are supposed to have, knowing that you have committed to them? That means that you're not really that confident, that sure that they can get the job done right now. And you as Colorado, if you're the head coach, this has nothing to do with feelings. You're bringing another guy to really push the boundaries or the envelope to these other quarterbacks and say, hey, you got Georgia, you got Texas, you got all these SEC schools, all these Big Ten schools, these other schools that have multiple quarterbacks at that level, and they're all competing for a job. You literally just had Arch Manning being a backup. Is that the same thinking that we're thinking? Is that what Coach Prime is thinking? That, hey, if you are that man, if you are that guy, if I bring in an SEC quarterback with Nico Maliava, if you that good, then show me. That's what a head coach should be thinking. There's nothing wrong with Coach Prime thinking like that. But is that a good thing? Because if you got a 4 or 5 star in JuJu Lewis and you're supposed to build him up, if you think about Nebraska bringing in Dylan Raiola and throwing him into the fire and him taking over that program, now his confidence is growing. Now he's becoming the leader. If you're not thinking the same way about the quarterbacks in Kaidon Salter and JuJu Lewis, then what was the conversations that you had with their parents, or what was the conversation that you had with them? Because a 4 or 5 star, you don't necessarily get 4 and 5 stars like that anyway. Being a program like Colorado, you ain't got 4 and 5 stars lining up every day to come to your program. So when you get one of those, there's a high priority on those players, just like Jordan Seaton. What do we tell the quarterbacks? What do we say? For the sake of competition, if you really like that, you will beat Nico? Is that what we say? If I'm JuJu Lewis, I already had to deal with the idea of Kaden Salter. Him and Knob, we've been going back and forth. If you're bringing in an $8 million guy, then what does that say? That this is the guy we want. And do we have $8 million? I don't know if it was all about the $8 million and that's why the contracts went down, or he was asking for something else. The word on the street is that he does not have representation. His dad is doing the contract negotiations. I'm sure Tennessee has money. Knoxville got money. Another question we got to ask is, if Tennessee could not give you $8 million, if you come to a Colorado, I don't know that Colorado's going to be giving you $8 million. And if Colorado makes a move like $8 million, then the question becomes, what does that do to your locker room? This story's a big story. This is the premier story right now in college football. So if you're bringing in an $8 million guy, what does that do to your other guys in the locker room? How much was JuJu Lewis for? How much was Kaden Salter for? And if Kaden Salter wins the job over Nico, does he ask for more money if his wasn't $8 million? Because you cannot bring in an $8 million guy and somebody else wins the job. Then why would you be paying him $8 million? Coach Prime is getting 10. Coach Prime got 10. This kid is asking for 8. How much money does Colorado have? It's about to be a problem. If they bring Nico in, we got a problem. It's good for Colorado. This is really hard for me, okay, guys? Like, I'm telling you, this is hard for me. But I feel like, yes, is Nico Iamaleava, is he better than Kaden Salter and JuJu Lewis? I can't tell you that because Kaden Salter has a resume as well. He didn't play in the SEC, but he does have a good resume. JuJu Lewis still has to be proven coming from high school. He's a true freshman. So this is a good move for Colorado on the football front. Pure football conversation, this is a good move. You're able to acquire a high caliber SEC quarterback. You don't pass that up. It's just like seeing another Shador sitting right there in the NFL draft and you're passing him up knowing that what you have in-house is not as good. You don't pass that up if you're Colorado. But the optics is fuzzy at best. The optics is fuzzy. That's what I'm trying to say. Where is Ryan Staub in all of this? We ain't even talking about Ryan Staub. Where's Ryan Staub? Ryan Staub is like, look, man, I'm enjoying myself. I'm in Colorado. I go take walks, you know what I'm saying, in the forest, in the mountains. I ain't trying to be no NFL star. I'm just having a good old time. I get free lunch. I'm good. So salute to you, Ryan Staub, because you're getting mixed up in all of this. I get it. Push Ryan Staub all the way out of the door. Like, we need the scholarship, Ryan. I'm sorry, Ryan. I almost forgot about Ryan Staub. Now you're bringing these 3 high caliber quarterbacks, and Colorado has a great situation. What says you? I really want to know, like, do you think strip all of the emotions away? All right, forget about the bandwagon buff emotions. Forget about all of the emotions. Forget about JuJu Lewis, what he means to Colorado, how he was recruited and everything. Forget about Kaden Salter, what you've seen on well-off media videos and everything. Put away all of those things, and you are the CEO. You are the head coach. You got to make tough business decisions. To tariff or not to tariff? That's the question. To tax the fan base or not to tax the fan base? That's the question. What says you, fan base? Or you could be another fan. You could be a Tennessee fan as far as I care. You know what I'm saying? What decision are you making? I definitely want to hear from you. Is this a good decision for Colorado or is it a bad decision for Colorado? On all fronts, I want to hear from you. So let me leave it right there, guys. Before this video becomes an hour, right? Let me leave it right there on this situation. Let me know. You know I'm Harry B. This is TLP Sports Club. Please do me a favor. And if you like content like this, if you like the perspective, the things that I'm throwing out there, I would love for you to join the channel, guys. TLP Sports Club, I appreciate you. Salute to you, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.